I'm Hilary, a mom in Oklahoma, and I am crawling towards this episode.
And I'm Hannah, a stay-at-home mom in Texas, and I am obsessed with Mrs. Weasley.
This is episode 68 of the Don't You to Read podcast. Hi, guys. We're so glad that you're here. So, today we are going to discuss. I'm skipping. My voice is skipping. Uh, Today we're going to discuss Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, chapters 3 and 4. And we're excited to be here. I'll be honest, I'm kind of like crawling towards here today. It's just been a crazy weekend.
Oh
Life is
no.
just, it's not slowing down ever, it seems. So, and right before this, my car's check engine light went off. So I'm like,
Oh
of course it did.
no.
So it just be that way sometimes, you know?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, hopefully this will give you a little bit of a pick-me-up to just forget about that for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. In full disclosure, while I did read both of these chapters, I read them away from my notebook, and so I did not take physical notes on them, but I have the book in front of me, so I'm going to be winging my thoughts a little bit. But I was telling Hannah something that was interesting was I feel like I've been struggling with some books lately. Like I've just had a lot of meh books. And I'm like, maybe it's me. Like maybe I just don't, like I'm not in the mood to read or I don't like whatever. And then I finished my last like meh book and then I picked up, this book so we could continue on in the chapters. And it was crazy how immediately I was like, no, like it flew by. And didn't I say it was going to be like 40 something pages?
Yeah.
And they just went down so easily, like super easy. I just sat down
Hmm.
last night and just read the chapter 3 like so fast. And then today I read chapter 4 and it was just like this little bubble of just feeling at peace, you know?
Yeah, I agree with this, and this is why I strongly feel like a lot of times it's not just the reader. Like, which I don't know. I know that
Yeah,
sometimes
maybe the book is bad sometimes.
I think so, or just not a good fit. Like, I strongly think that it's not because of the same reason. Like, I will be having all these fails, and I'm like, well, maybe I just hate reading. And then you read another book and it's amazing, and I'm like, no, it's clearly either just a bad fit or what for whatever reason. I don't think that it's me. I think that it's the book because you can enjoy something else. And Harry Potter is to me always like never fails. It's always a win.
Yeah, and like what I love about Harry Potter are like at least these two chapters, it felt like very cozy to me. I say cozy, but then whenever you read a lot of like cozy fantasy that's out right now, I'm like, no, that's not what I'm talking about at all. Like,
But Harry Potter not only has cozy, but it also does have high stakes. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
it's not all just like, oh, a teapot. Or
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. I have absolutely no examples to give right now, but you know what I mean.
Yes, like a lot of them are like the biggest issue is we're gonna open up a bookstore and that's it.
Yeah.
Or I'm serving coffee all day. That's it.
Which for the record, me, Hannah, I like cozy fantasy. I know Hillary doesn't. I think ever, mostly ever.
No,
So,
I don't
so,
think so.
but definitely different. I do think that this one does mesh
But
cozy with,
I seek it because I think of these type like this book is that I'm like I love that. Like I love maybe it's just not done very well in other cases. I don't know. So let's talk about it. Like chapter 3, we're talking about the Burrow. Do you want to like get started on that because this is I think your jam.
I mean, the Burrow is, I think I have a note that this chapter is one of my favorite chapters in the entire series because I love Ron's family so much. Like
Mhm.
I feel like Ron's family is my favorite thing about the series. And I love a lot of things about the series, but like his family, I love all of them. And well, Ginny is just accepted. But
The boys.
I love the parents so much, like Arthur and Molly. They're just like they seem like very well-rounded parents where like Arthur is very kind and very sweet and yes, he's a little bit goofy, but then
Hmm.
in this and the next chapter we see more of Arthur's more serious side, I would say. And then Molly is just very motherly, like very
Hmm.
nurturing, very kind and loving, but then she also is very like stern and a teacher.
Very relatable now as a mother.
Yes, she's like a teacher to her children. And in this chapter, we see like just all of Ron's family, like the inner workings of the dynamics between the brothers, how Ginny kind of fits in. And then also we get to see where kind of that like, shame and embarrassment comes from. We see it a lot throughout the entire series, from book one all the way till the end. We see that Ron really struggles with feeling insecure about the financial status of where he comes from. And so you kind of see their house. And so we start the chapter where Ron and Henry, not Henry, Fred,
Wow.
Ron, Fred, and George break out Harry and they break him out and they arrive at the Burrow. And I mean, I skipped a little from the car ride. I don't know if you have anything important to say about the car ride.
No, just I love that scene though. They broke him out just because they're like, we haven't heard from you. It's time to get you out of here. So they do, and I love it. And what I thought was interesting was that Mr. Dursley was like freaking out that they're taking
Yeah,
him. He's like, he's escaping. I'm
I
like,
have a
what?
note about that. He's yelling at Petunia that they're getting away, and I had a
Wouldn't
note.
this
It
be
says,
like your dream?
"Why does
Yeah.
he care? Would he not
Yeah.
be happy?" And I said, "I hate them so much."
Yeah. So that was the only note I had. I was like, that, oh, of course you're upset about this too.
Um,
Um, Anything that brings Harry happiness, I think that's it. Like they
yeah,
just want
I
him
guess
to be
so.
miserable. So yeah, so they break him out with the flying car, and that's kind of funny. So they get him out of there and they go to Ron's house, which is the Burrow. I love that description. I love, have you seen there's a Lego kit for this? For
Yeah.
the Burrow. It's maybe that's what you need next.
Do you have the illustrated copy of this book?
No, just the normal one.
Oh, they're good, and I love seeing the pictures, the artwork for all of it, but for this chapter. But something important here is that we find out Arthur, because they're driving this magical car when they get Harry out. And so we find out that it's a car that has been enchanted, and Arthur Weasley works at the Ministry of Magic in the Misuse of Muggle Artifacts office. So they said, I mean, basically, Arthur, he's obsessed with Muggle stuff. So, like anything that is Muggle related, he's obsessed with. And we see it a lot throughout the series where he's trying to ask, like Hermione's parents about their life, and he'll ask Harry questions about, whatever, usual Muggle things about the Muggle money. We've seen that too, where he's like fascinated with coins and dollars. But they said, the boys say, if he raided our house, he would have to put himself under arrest because his department, the whole point is they are looking for like magical spelled muggle. What is, I don't even know how to word what I'm trying to say.
Like items that are just normal items that have spells on them.
Yes, and then if
Magic.
muggles get them, like if they're donated or whatever, and then muggles get
Yeah,
their
because they talk
hands on
about like
them.
shrinking keys that wizards sell muggles
Yes.
shrinking keys, and that's why muggles are always losing, in quotes, their keys.
That
It's not
was
because they're losing them, it's because they're shrinking.
That was clever. I have a description of the house. It says, when Harry sees it, it looked as though it had once been a large stone pig pen, but extra rooms had been added here and there until it was several stories high, and it was so crooked it looked as though it were held up by magic, which Harry reminded himself it probably was. There are 4 or 5 chimneys perched on the top of the red roof, a lopsided sign stuck in the ground near the entrance that reads the Burrow. And then there's just a bunch of shoes, a cauldron, there's chickens running around, And Ron says it's not much because he's again feeling insecure. And Harry happily says it's wonderful. And
Hmm.
it just becomes like a safe place that Harry loves. I think he says it several times in the series that he
Yeah, like
loves
they
their
talk about
house.
the kitchen and they talk later about the like the stairs, how they have to like zigzag and Ron lives at the very top and Ron was really insecure about that too. Just everything, every step of the way, Ron is very insecure about their money. And what did have a note about that just in my brain. Um, I thought she hit it really well because Harry, it wasn't necessarily, I think, the stuff that Harry cared about. He was just like, he was
Hmm.
very drawn to the family part of it, like that it was like lived in. And he was like, it's so like the Dursleys had to have everything so perfect and everything so fancy, whatever. It wasn't real, but they were real. Like they actually loved each other and they were just living in their house. That's just what it was. And I loved it because I mean, I don't know how you feel, but even as a child, obviously, like with our dad, my mom didn't work. Our childhood, she stayed home with us. And looking back, like at the early days, I look back and I'm like, I think we probably were poor. Like, honestly, like we just, we would also get our clothes like always secondhand from yard sales or thrift stores or my mom would like hand make our costumes for Halloween and like she would always be cooking. We very rarely went to go out eat dinner, like eat out.
Hmm.
Or if we did, we were like that family that didn't get drinks or appetizers or dessert, nothing, it was water and whatever. But like as a child, it really didn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like kids truly don't care. Like you just look back and you're like, wow, this was amazing. Or I was telling Taylor about like how when mom and dad took us to Disneyland and then looking back, you're like, oh, they did it like on a budget. Like,
Hmm.
we packed tuna, we did
Hmm.
not eat the food at Disneyland. Like we
Hmm.
packed our food and we ate it like in the little park, the eating area. And we did not stay at the Disney resorts. We stayed at some motel
Yeah.
that I don't know. But so they did it on a budget, but it didn't matter. Like it was still like that stuff doesn't matter. Like what's important is like, and I look back on like those are some of the best times of my childhood
Hmm.
even better than like later our dad did make a lot more money and we got a lot more stuff, but I look back
Hmm.
fondly on those times that where we didn't really have a lot of money and we just I don't know, like it was just simpler and
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Harry was kind of noticing and J.K. Rowling was kind of pointing out like that's what's actually important. Like it didn't matter that they had to buy because I was like, that would be our family. We would be like the Weasleys, like having to buy everything secondhand, and they act
Hmm.
like that's something shameful. Not act. Ron thinks it's shameful, but
Well,
Harry
and
kind of
also,
points out. Oh, Draco does too.
yeah, and his dad, which we see in the next
Yeah,
chapter.
but Harry is like there to point out, like it's not really like you have. A family that loves you, that's there, that, whatever. You have friends. And so I love that balance with them.
Yeah, I love all everything. I think it's so sweet. I love the chapter so much. Really anything involving the Weasleys, like I love them. And so it's yes, this chapter is like my favorite.
I I also love her sink. No, yeah, like how
Oh,
she's able to send her dishes to the sink and they will just wash themselves. I'm like, I that is the one thing I
that
would
is
wish I had.
true. I have a note that I want her clock because her clock, her clock, it said that it only had one hand, it had no numbers at all. And instead of the numbers, it had things like time to make tea, time to feed the chickens, and you're late. So,
Yeah, you're like relate.
yeah, I was like, I need that. I need that clock. I love it. It is a chaotic house. And then so Miss Weasley, though, it's funny because she's like level 10 punishment for her sons, But then with Harry, it says how she's like super nice. She's like, "Oh, well, it's not your fault. I'm so happy to see you." And there's a comment too that she and Arthur were saying they were going to go check on Harry, I guess, like that a few days.
Mhm.
And so the kids were just impatient. But um, Harry gets to see Ron's room. It's all orange, and it is what Ron's favorite Quidditch team,
Mhm.
which I think we'll see that later, like in future books. But so Ron is insecure, and Harry says, "This is the best house I've ever been in." And that is the end of chapter 3.
Then they go on to chapter 4 where they need to go buy supplies for their, their school again, just like Harry did with Hagrid last year. And so they used flu powder, so that's different. That's a different method of travel that we haven't discussed yet. So basically, my understanding is flu powder is just a powder that you throw into a fireplace and it turns it into like a magical, I don't know, portal, tunnel,
Mhm.
whatever. You say where you want to go, and then it'll send you to a fireplace somewhere else, wherever you said. But it's funny because it's very chaotic. Like they're just telling him all these instructions, like, okay, like keep your elbows in, but like speak clearly, but close your eyes and like do and he's like very overwhelmed. And to Harry's credit, he just goes in and does it. I would be like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, it reminded me of the scene in Breaking Dawn when Bella is a vampire and Charlie's coming and they're just like trying to give her all the advice
It's too much,
in
yeah.
10 seconds and she's like, just stop it. I'll be fine." So Harry does. Well, he says it wrong. And they emphasize, they're like, you have to speak very clearly where you're going and don't miss the great. And then at one point, I don't know if it's mentioned here, where they were like, "Oh, like you can get injured, right? Like if you get off too
Yeah,
soon or something." Yeah, no, I'd be
yeah.
like, "No, no,
But they're
thank
like,
you."
close your eyes, but don't get off too early, but not too late, and don't like make sure you get off in the right place because then you'll be lost. And I don't know.
He kind of like chokes on some of the powder, I think, or the
Yeah.
smoke. So then he does not land at the right place, is really all this comes down to. He ends up in this creepy shop, Borgin and Burke's in Nocturne Alley. How did he even get here? Like, what did he say that got him here? Because in the movie they say like diagonally, and I'm like, how did you get here?
He said, I have it right here. Um, where is it? Diagon Alley, he coughed. So I don't know. But I was funny because they said, "Oh no, you don't want to get lost. How would we ever explain it to your aunt and uncle?" And Terry reassured her they wouldn't mind, which
That's so
is
sad.
yeah, it's true. So yeah, he gets lost, ends up in that shop, and then he sees Draco and his dad. So this is the first. Is this I think the first time we meet Lucius.
Yeah, I think so. And like, okay, here's where I already know. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing in advance. We see Draco is like all yapping to his dad, mad about Harry Potter, and he's like essentially just ranting, saying that like Harry is so special. He's so important and he has a scar and everybody loves him and whatever, all this stuff. Honestly, I think I would probably be thinking that way too. Because, and I see it too, like Snape is like that, which Snape is an adult, but he's always like, "Ugh, Harry, like he's so self-righteous and everybody, like the golden boy." And I do see that. I'm just saying, I'm just giving him some, like a little bit, throwing a bone that I do see why everybody, like I guess villains, see him that way.
Yeah. So, but Draco he's kind of mistreated at home too, though.
Yes. I mean, 100%. Okay, and then also in this
I mean,
moment, so,
he's a jerk. He's horrible. He's
but
horrible.
I think he's a product of his environment
Yeah.
and what he's been taught. And so, like, anyway, that could be a whole other episode. But there's a moment here where he talks about, like, his dad is getting after him and he's like, "You didn't get top of your grades," or something like that. And Draco was like, "Well, Hermione, of course I can't get higher grades than her because she's, too much and all is overachieving." And I was like, this is the setup for all the
Mm-hmm.
fanfics of
Mm-hmm. Dramini.
Yes, and this is why it's so flawless. Ah. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so the dad is there and we find out the dad, like Harry doesn't really know what's going on. He's just overhearing like bits and pieces. But Lucius, he says he's bringing something to sell to the shop owner, and he it's just very vague, honestly. Like it's all very vague, but he's just like, I need to get rid of this because there's a new Muggle Protection Act. And he was like, no doubt Arthur Weasley, who we learned works at the Ministry of Magic, forgot to say that, he's behind it. So he's like, I need to get rid of this stuff before it looks bad, or I'm like under investigation, whatever. So we learn that. But Harry, we're like from the perspective of Harry, so we don't really know like much what's going on.
Yeah, Harry, who is hiding in the closet or in
Yeah.
the cabinet. So he gets out, and then Hagrid is there. So I feel like it's a thing. Like, why are you in Nocturne Alley, Hagrid? And Hagrid says
Mm-hmm.
that he is looking for a flesh-eating slug repellent. And yeah, so there's Hagrid. And then we have Hermione. They all meet up. And at this point, they're looking for books. And I don't really know if it's worth mentioning, but like all the books they have to get are from, what's his first name?
Gilderoy.
Yes, Gilderoy Lockhart. And
They're like, whoever is the new teacher must love him.
yes, and he, of course, is the new teacher. And I have I have really the only note. I said Lockhart is signing books. What a clown. He's one of my most disliked characters in this series.
Yeah, he's very full of himself. But they make a note, like women love him. So
Yeah.
apparently he's supposed to be very handsome, very charming. I did not get that from the movie.
No, at all. I'm like,
But the
why?
book talks about him like he's just extremely handsome. I don't know.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I just like it's laughable to
But
me.
he's
And
very annoying, even in the book.
yeah, he's very annoying. He calls out Harry and he's like, I'm giving you all my books new for free. And he like humiliates Harry. And on top of like just being obnoxious, the whole reason too that it's just bad vibes is because Harry's like sees that the Weasleys can barely afford like all there's been several comments made how like they have to pay for all of their kids stuff
They
and
all
how
need these new books,
yeah, they all need new
all
books.
of them.
And then oh
And
there's
he's
a
requiring
moment
like what, like 7 books or for
yes.
the yeah.
And then and they were like trying to find used ones or like tattered, like old copies. And then of other books, I think it was Ginny who needed, like she was trying to find older books. I don't remember, but somebody was getting old tattered books because Lucius Malfoy makes a comment about it and he's like, look, like you just keep having kids and you can't even get them what they need. And like, I don't know, just being a jerk. And oh, but this is when in the movie it's different. In the movie, I'm pretty sure the whole point is that Arthur is like not really bothered. Like he may be bothered, but like he doesn't do anything. He's just like, oh well, we just kind of turn the other cheek. In the book, Arthur attacks him. And honestly, I was like, good. And he didn't even do it for himself. Like he did it when um what is Lucius was being hateful about muggles. That was specifically when he attacked him, which I think was just,
Yeah, they get in a fist fight. Literally, it's like he sprung on him, started punching him. So,
into the bookshelf.
but it's funny because the kids are like, "Yes."
Yeah, cheering him on. I was too. I was like, yes, punch him.
And of course, Mrs. Weasley is like, "Oh my God, like you're embarrassing me, setting a terrible example to our kids and whatever." But yeah, that just shows like the Weasleys and the Malfoys just have an animosity towards each other that really never goes away. Something I thought was interesting, backing up a bit. One, we see Hermione's parents, the
Yes.
very, very briefly, but it is interesting. They are there. So the parents went to Gringotts. So that was interesting. Exchanging money, like
Mm-hmm.
pounds for magical coin or whatever.
Canuts.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting that they were allowed to. go there and stuff. And the Arthur Weasley was also very fascinating. Like he just wanted to talk to them all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other note I had was about Ginny, who is introduction to my second, one of my other dislike characters. And I don't know if I dislike her or Dobby more.
Oh my goodness. That's
I
wild.
I do not like Ginny.
Okay,
And
wait. Wait, why do you dislike her this much?
she's so annoying.
Wait, so you said she's annoying. Is she annoying to you just in this book, or is she annoying to you as the series goes on?
I guess to me, I'm curious to see how I feel as I reread all of them again. Because to me, I always think of her as this girl who has a crush on Harry and just will not, like unrequited
Uh-huh.
feelings. And it's annoying to me, like her obsession with Harry.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind, but to me, that's kind of as far as her character goes to me. And as we will see later on in this book, like she doesn't really do much to convince me otherwise, but
Yeah,
we'll
okay.
see.
This book is a doozy for Ginny. I will say that. I also will say I never liked her. Like I don't know that I like disliked her a whole lot, but I never liked her and I did not like where that story goes. So that I mean, yeah. But you know what? Josh does like her, if I
I,
remember correctly.
I'm curious to know why, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We need to have a whole like expose about like
We really should. At the end of this, we're gonna have to do our favorite and
yeah,
least favorite characters and
and why.
why.
Yeah.
Defend it. Change my mind. I'm
Yeah.
like, Ginny Weasley is the worst character in Harry Potter. Change my mind.
Yeah, and I think that's another unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people do like her. I do I don't dislike her as much as you do, but I don't like her. I will say that.
It's funny because Ron is like my ride or die. I love him, love him. Like no matter what. And then her, I'm like, oh. I was like when they introduced her, she said, "I'm going to Hogwarts," and I'm like, oh, great.
I mean, they did bring her in though, like she's the younger little kid who, yeah, and then
And
she
Harry
likes
feels
him.
uncomfortable with the advances. I say advances, but
I know.
he notices these
They
things.
said it too. They were like, "Oh, the brothers were kind of laughing about it that Ginny has just been talking about Harry all summer." I'm like, "Why?" Yeah, I don't know. She
She just
just
has a
likes him,
she just
okay?
has a crush on
It's
him.
dumb. Kids are dumb.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my unpopular opinion. But anyway, that's kind of all I have on that. And then so we know he has to go back to the Burrow. So he's like Harry got all his supplies and they're going back to the Burrow and he has to go back through the flu
Oh,
stuff
the only other thing that is worth noting is that Lockhart announced he will be the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
because of course he is. That's why he wants all his books. Yeah.
Yes. And that's it. That's all I have.
Yeah. So and then Harry's like, "Great, I have to go back. I hate this. I hate this way of travel." So that was interesting. I like those two chapters. I felt like the first two, I'm like they weren't bad, but it was just like I don't know. The three and four, I was like yes, like we have hit our stride. They went down so easy, and it was like the magic that I love about Harry Potter.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so next week we will be talking about chapters 5 and 6, which is the Whomping Willow, which is exciting. We're gonna go back to Hogwarts. And chapter 6 is Gilderoy Lockhart. So we're going to learn more about him. So that's exciting. Lots of stuff to discuss next week. So for now, you can find me at Hilary Reads,
And I'm at Hannah Reads.
and our podcast is at Don't You To Read Podcast, all on Instagram. So come and find us, follow us, especially on the weekends. Let us know what you're reading. We like to talk about it and we'll share it. And then rate and review us, please, if you like the episodes on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Every like, share, comment means a lot. We do see them all, and we're just happy that you guys are here. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.